rather provocative article and a provocative statement, I think, on the F1 Chronicle for this video here. Would Max Verstappen have won the driver's title in a McLaren? I presume that is this year, 2024, the year of our Lord. And somebody out there questioning whether Verstappen would have won the world title in a McLaren. I'll give my thoughts at the end of this, because I know this is very much going to anger some people, just even for the thought of it. But let's have a look at it. Let's read the article out, and then let's dissect it like we always do here on the F1Chronicle.com, guys. Full article on the website as always. Max Verstappen's 4th consecutive championship triumph in 2024 has also put a spotlight on how it went wrong for his main rival Lando Norris. Verstappen wrapped up the title with 2 races to spare, despite no longer sitting in the fastest car in the field. The Dutchman declared in Las Vegas that he would have secured the championship much earlier had he been in Norris's McLaren. When asked if Verstappen is entitled to make a comment like that, Red Bull advisor Dr. Helmut Marko told Österreich yes, because he's certainly right. This year, no driver other than Max would have won the World Championship for us. He certainly did not have the best car. Norris hit back, declaring that Verstappen would definitely not have emerged victorious this season in a McLaren. No one ever in the history of Formula 1 has come back from the size deficit that I had, he said. No one, ever. The advantage they had in the beginning of the season over everyone was way more than we've had. It's true, it was the biggest gap. I don't know if if you go back through the history of Formula 1, obviously because the points have changed over the years, it's 25 points now for a victory. It used to be 10, and before that it was actually 9 points back in the day. So I don't know if you converted the points to the modern system that anybody has come back from that size of a deficit, but I think even then, no one has managed to ever do it. But this was a very strange season, and I will get into why I think there's more to it than that. Not everyone agrees with the British driver, including Dutch racer Jeroen Bleekenmolen. I've said that wrong, I do apologise. Urine, let's go urine. Who told Ziggo Sport that 2024 revealed Norris's weaknesses? When Verstappen was driving for Toro Rosso, he was once ordered to move aside for his teammate Carlos Sainz. He didn't do that. Norris could have had that attitude more often towards his teammate Oscar Piastri this season. That's part of it. You want to be world champion. Speaking to Le Journal de Montreal, the 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve puts more blame with McLaren and Piastri's manager Mark Webber, who he says appears to have negotiated a deal with strict no team orders clauses. Even though they use team orders at times, I'm not so sure about that, Jacques. Unfortunately for Lando, McLaren didn't help him, said Villeneuve. It's as if the team didn't want him to win the championship, which is strange. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I think they very much wanted Lando to win the championship, but they also didn't use team orders every time to give him the advantage. At the end of the day as well, if they're referring to the thing in Hungary, that's, for me, that was fair enough. I don't have a big problem with that. And in the end, it made no difference anyway, because Verstappen still won the title, and he would have won the title in Vegas anyway. As for Piastri's contract, Villeneuve added, there are terms that protect him that a new driver should never have. Urine agrees. Decisions were made that I don't understand at all. The best example being Hungary, when Norris had to step aside for Piastri. They were missing the bigger picture. There appeared to be a lot of uncertainty within the team, he said. They responded too late to a new situation in which they had the best. McLaren focused for a long time completely on the development of the car to close the gap in terms of pure speed. They succeeded in that, but not on the operational part, and that becomes painfully visible when you are not driving for places 5 to 10, but for the title, because the smallest mistake is then punished. As for Norris, Urine says that the contrast with Verstappen was made crystal clear in 2024. Verstappen is so confident that he never looks at the others, he said. Norris looks around a lot more to see what other drivers are doing. He certainly needs to work on that. But on the other hand, that killer instinct is something you either have or not. Right, interesting stuff there. Right, so let's not be around the bush. Let's just get to the whole statement about Verstappen being able to win the title in the McLaren. And yeah, I think he could have done, absolutely. Something that would have hamstrung him for sure would have been the team. You look at Verstappen's pace and he maximised every opportunity he had. And if you'd use that kind of thinking with how he performed and how his results were, and if you put him into the McLaren had the best car this season. They're leading the Constructors' Championship. I think Verstappen probably, to be honest, I think overall throughout the season, he probably would have got even more wins. Let's just say you swap Lando and Max, right? You put Lando in the Red Bull and you put Max into the McLaren. You'll have Lando probably taking a big lead early in the season. But then after like Miami, you know, you think about the chances that Lando Norris made mistakes in just himself. Let's take the team out of the equation here. Let's look at the mistakes that Lando Norris made. Spain, he got beat off the line. At Canada, he should have won that. Verstappen would have won that as well if he was in a McLaren. So that's 2 wins right there. Then you've also got some other times as well, like Italy, you know, where there was mistakes there with team orders and stuff like that. That won't have helped. I mean, there was a mistake in qualifying as well in Baku. There's a lot of times when Norris himself made mistakes and the team made mistakes too, and that didn't help. So overall, to be honest, I feel like Verstappen, if he was in the McLaren, I think he would have won the championship. I don't agree with what the likes of Norris are saying. I feel like McLaren, this has been a big learning year for them now. They are a team that are expected to win now, and that's a very different kind of pressure, and that's a very different kind of approach that you have to have when it comes to how you go about race weekends, how you go about it operationally with the pit stops and everything like that. So I feel like that's also a thing too, and both Norris and McLaren are still pretty inexperienced when it comes to that. Red Bull are a well-oiled machine. They know how to win. Mercedes, they're a well-oiled machine. They know how to win. Ferrari, they're kind of there, they're kind of not. I feel like they've still operationally, probably, believe it or not, on the whole, have been quite fine. Shockingly, I know they've not made that many glaring errors for me this season. The car is, again, they've maximised the results, and that's why I feel like they've still got a chance of this Constructors' Championship going into the final 2 rounds of the season. McLaren haven't got it sewn up yet, not by any stretch. But what do you guys think? Would Verstappen have won the world title if he was driving for McLaren and Lando Norris was driving in the Red Bull? I think he would have done personally. But your thoughts in the comments below as always, guys. And of course, keep it tuned here to the F1Chronicle.com to see much more content on the world of Formula 1 just like this.